Hope you're all well. This is a quick update on the yen pairs. So a few days ago, we had this buy on GJ, which it had made a pullback just a bit above entry, and I mentioned it was only valid with timing or alignment. And the reason for that is it had lost its profit-taking confluence. That profit-taking move that we were looking for happened just a bit above entry. So to take the trade, you would need that bit more. And it did align with EJ, which was back on the 61 plus. The 160 key level and the small lows, and UJ, which annoyingly I've deleted my chart, but UJ was on this blue zone, so there was alignment, and I explained my logic behind this trade, and it was the same logic as these two zones, that it did make sense for price to potentially make the move from here, because yeah, there was some sort of alignment, and truly nobody knows where price is going to go. It's all a game of probabilities. So if it did make the move from here, you can capitalize on it, and if it did breach, then the odds of the backup delivering are higher. Now there were a few mistakes, if I'm being honest. I did initially send out this zone, but it was one to just look out for potential timing or alignment, but I failed to take initiative. Now the whole reason for this trade was that if it doesn't deliver, the backup, the odds of the backup is higher. Now there was the opportunity for the UJ to recoup the losses, where this trade, I don't know why, this was just a bit of retardation, but I did initially have this zone marked out, but when price had pushed a lot higher and it came back to it, I think the fibs lined up around here with this break retest. That's where I had my first my entry. So for the sake of like 20-30 odd pips, I had missed this whole trade, and that could have recouped the losses. But I did recoup the losses from the break retest. Now I did send it out as a risky trade because yes, I did feel it is risky, but a break retest on a zone that's not delivered makes sense, especially on GJ, which is a technical pair, and it's technical because it's driven by algorithms. GJ is one of the only pairs that you can trade lower time frame, even though it's likely to fuck you sideways. But so this zone was breached. If you look at it on the 4 hour, actually show you on the 1 hour. So this daily level, it was breached on the way down, and it was coming back up to it. So it was the break retest of that level. And if you go into the lower time frame, I'll show you what I mean by GJ being a technical pair. So we're on the 15-minute time frame. If you're just going to start, we're going to start looking at this move down, and we're going to see where has the fib been working from. Now, bear in mind, I'm not even going to look at any trend lines, because yes, algorithms do use trend lines, EMAs sometimes even. I'm literally just going to look at fibs, and you can see it does work. Fibs and maybe break retests as well. So if you look at this move down, initially the 38, I guess, was a miss. 61, it had, yeah, barely 5 pip drawdown, delivered the move. Again, you could, I mean, you could, if you have like a 15 pip stop loss, you could have capitalized on any one of these. Over here, 50 fib worked. If you keep extending it, 38, I guess you could say, barely had 20 pips drawdown and delivered the move. Here, the 38 just missed. I mean, we'll try the 23 as well. That's very aggressive, but yeah, it is working. And for something like this, now this is a bit of fuckeries, and I'm sorry for doing this, but look at this. You could, like, if there's another fib break retest, look, it is technical and it does work, and this is, algorithms do take this into account, but we're not going to plot any other fibs for now. We're just going to keep extending this. Again, 23 break retest. Like, these are all, it's the same, like it's the exact same as we do on the higher time frame, but just on the lower time frame. And if you keep extending it, again, you could class this as a break retest potentially, and it didn't deliver the move. Let's keep extending it. 23 again with a very weak level. Here 23 again. 38 just missed, but there was a level there, so that made sense. Again, 23 worked, and you keep extending it. Again, 23 worked. Now let's look at a smaller fib at the same time. So let's look at the fib from over here. Now I'm going to use this as a red one. Look, 61 worked. So like, the more fibs, the more the fibs work, the more valid or validity they have, or the more valid they are. But again, 50 worked. Let's look at this one. 38, I guess, just missed. I mean, let's get the 23 up there as well. There's a very small fib and I'm doing 23, but it's crazy shit. But the whole point is that it is a technical pair. See this 23, you could say break retest there, or even this break retest, it could have been a potential trade. If you keep extending it, 23, look at this, 23 worked, 38 worked, And now what's fucked is I'm gonna even look at the smaller fib, because this is a fib that makes sense as well. And you need, sorry, my headphones just disconnected. So yeah, I think I was on this fib when they disconnected. So we'll start back over here. So 38 was just a miss, 50 delivered the move. And by the way, this isn't how I recommend you ever trade. This is, I'm just pointing this out because I know that, like, GJ is just a technical pair. 38 just missed, but the break retest. Keep extending it. Again, 38 delivered the move. Now look, I'm all the fibs so far have all been working, and I'm looking at them all separately. But imagine if you combine them as well, like it can work. Now let's try this fib. So here the 50 delivered the move. The 50/61, I guess. I'm not really going to look at 23, but again, if you look at it, 38 delivered, 50 delivered, 61 delivered, and it's such a small fib. All of these are delivering the move, and that was kind of why I took the initiative on this one, even though it was an aggressive trade, was because break retest A on a zone that's not delivered, and it's a very algo driven pair. Now, I don't trade lower time frame because I don't recommend it for this reason. It may seem of like, yes, great, everything's working, but it's not sustainable. You're allocating so much effort on so many different trades. You're not gonna learn as much. You can't journal all those pairs as effectively, and you can't learn from every single move. That's why it's not something that I recommend. So the break retest did recoup the losses, but there was places where I could have improved on. Was A, taking initiative on a trade like this, which I did plan ages ago. So this is another example of analysis is easy, execution is the hard part. It's very easy to get all of these zones, in my opinion. It's hard to execute, and I'm going to be honest about my execution and the problems that I have and the mistakes that I make, so you can learn from them. But that is all there is to trading. It's the technicals is the easy bit. It's a game against self, that decision making. But again, so I could have recouped on this zone by taking the initiative, or the UJ, and had depending on both. And whichever one triggered, then I would have cancelled the other one, and UJ would have triggered, and it could have recouped the losses. But again, the break retest did recover the losses. So yesterday was Thanksgiving, and it was lower liquidity on the market. I mean, it's a US holiday, but that affects the whole market. So there were not much moves throughout the market. Now there was a potential move on gold, which I'll talk about in the gold video, but UJ didn't do much. And last night we had the yen CPI. So the yen CPI is up to 2.2%, which is quite a significant increase, and that increases the likelihood of hikes in the future cuts, so next month, and that caused a significant decrease on the yen pairs. I presume that is the driver for all of them, and because we didn't go straight to the zone on 190, I'm only interested in this trade if there is potential alignment, because it would have been better if it pushed straight to the zone. And also EJ has made the move from the zone, UJ has also made the move, so UJ just missed this zone as well, but that's made the move. It's end of month, so rebalancing of portfolios, potential one-sided momentum. So I'm only interested in this if there is alignment.